Welcome to the Adhocracy Show. On today's episode,
gaming gets people active.
How Pokemon Go changed the world.
And Pikachu and Squirtle give back.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm David Landeen.
And I'm JD Melville. And welcome to the Adhocracy Show, your source for marketing, advertising, art, and design.
If you're here for the first time, click the little button called the subscribe button, which is right there.
Yeah, go ahead and click that. We have episodes every Monday, and it'll basically tell you when we release those and what we're doing.
You can be one of the first ones to watch the episode.
And you could probably be the first person to comment first.
Which is really annoying, but because we don't.
I'll be fine with that.
We're gonna pretend like this is a few years down the road, and then that's gonna be like the really cool thing because it's so hard to do that.
Well, welcome to the Adhocracy Show. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Pokemon Go. Here's a little clip of what we said.
I think that the people who made Pokemon Go are not surprised in the least that this is working so well.
Yeah, that happens. So stay tuned for that. As well, we have the Pre-Hocracy Show, the show before the show that you watch after the show. We actually started writing lyrics to a parody that we will be producing about Pokemon Go.
It might be offensive to hardcore Pokemon Go players, so make sure you share it with them so they can come on and write hateful comments in the comments.
I think they call themselves traditionalists.
Traditionalists? Is that really what they call themselves?
Because I played the traditional game, or something like that. It was something like that.
I actually have... Well, as you can probably tell by now, we are not the stereotypical... Oh man, I'm just digging myself into a hole. I don't play Pokemon Go. I'll just come out and say it. All right, I've never played it, but I respect the game wholeheartedly. I think it's an amazing game.
As much as I've talked about it and as much knowledge as I have about it, people would guess that I have it and play it. But I've really just been paying attention because it has been incredible. It's been incredible how it has completely changed the world.
If you haven't heard about this game, maybe you've been living under a rock. Maybe you have a flip phone.
Maybe you're off the grid.
Maybe you're off the grid. And if they're off the grid, they're probably not watching this. But it's okay.
We're here to help you. Pokemon Go is a game that was released this year in 2016. And basically, it uses your location on your phone and your camera to create basically an augmented reality. So just like in the game of Pokemon, you're going around the world, you're looking around, you're finding the Pokemon and trying to catch them.
Now, this has been a huge success with, what is it right now? Over 100 million downloads. And JD has done some research, some what they call math.
Some maths for our friends across the pond.
And what does that equate to?
1.35% of the population.
Not the population of America, the population of the world.
And I mean, that seems like a small amount, but if you could get 1.35% of the entire world.
Like, what if 1.35% of the entire world were watching our show?
Oh my gosh. I would love 100 million. We would be the most watched
100 million subscribers.
But I mean, think of $1 per one of those customers. Say one each customer spent $1, $100 million.
Not to mention in-app purchases.
Yeah.
Which this company that made it is walking on cloud. I mean, they're on cloud 9. They're walking on air right now. They did it. Congratulations.
And just like anything else that has been, really, really hits and is big, it's analyzed, it's dissected, it's reported on. Everyone comes to it. And on both sides of the coins, there are people who really hate it, and there are people who absolutely love it.
So, we want to join that discussion. We want to talk about how amazing and what this game has done.
The things that we don't want to talk about, though, are like people cheating in various ways, people receiving bodily injury because they weren't paying attention, their use of the game in improper or very delicate places that they shouldn't, and things like that. We don't want to really be criticizing. We want to talk about some of the great things and how the design of this really has affected in incredible ways.
We're a show about design. We want to talk a lot about the user design, the game design, the marketing design, and the change that's made to the world.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and to start off on the advertising,
Yeah.
there was only one commercial, at least that I've been able to find. I mean,
a
they've
Super Bowl
done
commercial, which I had no idea. I thought it was just celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Pokemon. That's all I thought it was.
well, and they probably have done some online stuff, but this game has caught on in big ways.
From word of mouth.
From word of mouth. I mean, people sharing and grabbing. I mean, that's really where I saw the YouTube or the Super Bowl commercial, didn't think anything of it, but it wasn't until people started being like, oh, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Go.
Well, and all the videos that have been made on YouTube channels. I mean, there's just been so many different videos out there that, I mean, it's amazing if you haven't heard of it. Like, I don't know why you haven't heard of it. So, first off, though, I want to talk about the technology, the way it's changed technology. Up until the point that Pokemon Go came out, everything I felt was heading in the direction of virtual reality, VR, Oculus Rift, the 3D, where you take your phone, you look around, and where the YouTube 360 videos.
But really, a problem with that kind of technology is that it's putting you in another world where you're not it's not connected to your world, right?
Exactly.
You can walk into a wall, but you would continue walking through a wall.
Yeah, it just, I mean, it's a great, but things they were heading in that direction. I feel like there's going to be a change. I think because of Pokemon Go, VR is going to step aside for AR, augmented reality, taking the real world and putting the game in the real world where you use your phone as augmented reality to go around and do those type of things. It may be that you film a video in a certain location, and then if you hold up your phone in that certain location, then you see that video. It could be, I mean, I feel like
memorials at like you could. There's a lot of really interesting stuff that could be there. Like you could go to a cemetery and hold up a phone, and there's a picture of the person. There could be really interesting things
exactly
outside of that.
I feel like that Pokemon Go is the big break that augmented reality needed in order to really take the forefront in the technological fight against VR.
And be more than just the kitschy little funny uses every once in a while that are groundbreaking.
Yeah.
But not really.
All right. What's up?
After that is the connection to the real world. With this augmented reality, this game has really taken people from their computer world, their video game world, whatever they're playing in, and connected them to the real world. We'll talk a little bit more about this, but this game was built on another game, and it took the information where it used monuments, it used icons, it used things out in the world as places that you need to go visit in order to accomplish something in the game. And so this, in Pokemon Go, you go to different statues, you go to different places, and there are Pokestops, there are Pokegyms, there are places that really connect you into the world.
Which was such a brilliant idea because the infrastructure is built. Mm-hmm. I mean, Google kind of did all the work.
Yeah.
I mean, did a lot of the ground laying, like they laid a lot of groundwork for them so that basically just you put in.
And the company Niantic that produces the game was part of Google at one point.
Yeah, so I mean, they the forethought that they put into this. The more you study this, the more you see that really this isn't some big breakout game.
It's not it didn't just come from nowhere.
Yeah, it really had a lot going for it, and it had the right timing, and they did the research, and they built a game that I think that the people who made Pokemon Go are not surprised in the least that this is working so well.
Well, and that's probably the next point. The next really good point is that this was built built on the shoulders of giants. It was combined with other ideas. It was meshed together. It's kind of everything converging to make the right thing, right? So you had Google involved and their building of this world and the maps and the geolocation. That stuff had to come before this game could really work. Niantic with their game Ingress is the game that it was. That had all these monuments already built up. So there was a lot of infrastructure before the game even had to come out. And then, just basically bringing in this pop culture reference of Pokemon, and all these ideas mesh so well that, 100 million users, or 100 million downloads at least.
So the next thing is the design of the actual game itself is brilliant. It's simple.
Yeah.
It's user-friendly. It's something that you really don't have to understand your typical, like, you think about somebody who's starting a new game system and they start a new game, there's a learning curve there. There's really not a ton of learning curve on Pokemon Go.
No, yeah. Any video game that you start, they'll basically have you learn how to look up and down, and like you go through like you're a baby. Look where this game it's basically like, okay, do this, okay, do this, okay, do this.
I mean,
you learn the game.
Anybody can play this, and really
everyone does.
They do,
and that's maybe our next point is the amount of social change that people are using. I have seen people who are super old. I went on a vacation, and there was this main little shopping strip, and I was watching. I could see people playing Pokemon Go. I saw like this old couple sitting there catching Pokemon. I saw a guy. I was walking behind a guy on his shirt. It said machinist. And it had like some funny stuff. But here's this guy that would do nothing with video games. I would think. I mean, he's a man's man. He's sitting there, flicking Pokeballs at Bulbasaur. I don't know.
But the number one biggest thing that I love, and that I think this game has done to really change the world, is it got everybody off the couch.
Yeah, this is incredible because. I mean, there are tons of physical activity apps, right? There are trackers, there are apps.
There was an entire game system that did this, that attempted to do this.
And that also speaks back to, okay, this is built off, what other people do. You had Wii that had Wii Fit, that had the Wii Fit board. They tried to get you moving in a lot of different ways. You had Kinect from Xbox, which was all about, okay, I'm going to move and I'm going to, there's a lot of gaming, but it always kept you inside. It always, all that excitement sort of died down. Where in this, you've got people out and about, walking, moving, going to different places that they've never been before.
This has been an amazing thing to see, where everybody, being a runner, like I don't like sitting on the couch. I don't like video games. Is like, why would you waste your time with a video game?
Because it's fun.
I know, and that's always what they say.
I'm a video gamer. Well, I'm an old school video gamer.
But in this case, like, go play. Like, if this gets you outside and walking, people walk miles to go catch Pokemon. It's so great.
Yeah, here's a shout out to my brothers. They're video gamers. They would, they don't go outside a whole lot. They were telling me the other day that they were out walking 5 miles just to go to one place, go over here. Like, they walked 5 miles where they wouldn't before.
I think the best thing that's happened, I always joke, like, they did it. They cured childhood obesity. Congratulations, Pokemon Go. You did it.
Well, and that's I think that's one of the most interesting parts is that, okay, all the fitness trackers, the apps and stuff, they get people active who are lightly active to extremely active, right? This has made people active who are completely sedentary. Like, they have not moved, they don't want to move. I went and had a picnic in the park with my wife and daughter, and I'm looking around and there are people just like Pokemon Go everywhere. That's incredible. That something like this can be designed and really create that amount of change. And that's something that I think we could all take into effect and think, especially when we look at the world's problems, how can we as creatives take these kind of things and make social change? Exactly.
So if you are, playing Pokemon Go, tell us what you've been impressed with. Tell us, if you have some time, tell us like what you love about the game, what points we missed, and why Pokemon Go is changing the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to our videos.
And make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for more content, and hopefully a amazing parody of the Pokemon Go, or not Pokemon Go, but the Pokemon theme song, which we worked on in the Adhocracy Show, so go check that out.
Yeah. And for today's made-up fact of the day,
if you subscribe to this channel, this is completely true, you are going to catch them all.
I'm going to get Mewtwo!
That's right. Mom would say, get off the couch, you're just a lazy bum. Because it's like, before this game, like, people who love video games, and like, that's what their mom would say.
They'd be playing